Revelation 1441. From the 29th of May 1940. Sin. Atonement. Creation. Will. Redemption. God's work of creation therefore came into being to bind the free will of the being, which was misused, for a certain time, so that therefore the being is forced to do something what goes against its will. That it must serve where it wanted to rule before. The being is forced into a state which its free will would never have taken upon itself. The being is forced to an activity, which corresponds to the will of God, and the power of the adversary cannot change anything about this state of the beings. His power has therefore already been broken when God let the creation come into being, therefore he used all his cunning and guile to make the being in the stage of free will, in the embodiment as man, nevertheless again subject to himself. And so he oppressed the being in an unheard of way so that it, even if its will desired God, was too weak to carry out this will. But it again and again got into the nets of Satan and could not free itself from them by its own strength. And in order to lift also this state of weakness of the beings, which had nevertheless originated from him in the beginning, in order to strengthen the beings in their will power and to give them at the same time the means which let them become free from the evil power, the Lord descended to earth. He also gave the opponent the power over himself, that is over everything that was earthly about him. He placed himself in the fight against the worst enemy of all good. And he overcame him. He broke the power of death. He was stronger than the one whose ambition is to take everything away from the realm of light and to increase the realm of darkness. He broke its power, and he showed the being a way that led out of the realm of darkness into the realm of light. He now left him free will and also the opponent to have power over it, but he provided the being with a measure of grace, which can let his will become strong and makes complete liberation from the opponent's power possible for him, if the being consciously makes use of this grant of grace. So it depends again on the free will of the being, which side it chooses. It can now take the way unhindered upward or also downward, but if it desires to go upward, also the strength is given to correspond to its desire, while the being was powerless before and their will was utterly weakened by the adversary, so that therefore the desire for the light continuously diminished, constantly increasing the distance from God. Through the work of creation, the being is given the opportunity before being embodied as a human, to develop to the height also against his will, so that therefore already a certain state of maturity is reached when the being is then allowed to embody itself as a human. The journey through creation has already brought the being closer to the Godhead. The distance is no longer so infinitely large as it was once. And therefore also the possibility is greater that the course through the earthly valley as a human, brings the being the last liberation from the power of the opponent. If now the grant of grace which God himself has made accessible to humans through his work of redemption is made use of, then the last redemption from this power can take place and the being can return to him, from whom it has gone out. Amen.